Hi guys, it's Mrs. Pickett. I am here back with another video for you guys on place value, but instead of thinking about place value with our whole numbers like we talked about last time, we're going to talk about place value with decimals. Hopefully you remember some stuff about decimals from 4th grade, but if not, I hope that this video acts as a reminder for you and also teaches you a little bit of new information. So here we have a thousands cube. And when we think about thousands cubes or base 10 blocks, we know that that is 10 rows here with 10 columns stacked 10 high. So if we were going to put that into a multiplication number sentence, it would be 10 groups of 10 groups of 10. Or we might say that that's 10 to the third power. So my question to you is, when we think about fractions, we think about a piece of that cube coming out. So let's say I decided I wanted to take 4 of these pieces out. It's almost like I took that chunk and I pulled them out. So how many do you think that would be? Would that be 4 whole pieces or 4 out of something? Hopefully you're saying because we're pulling those pieces out, it's going to be 4 out of 1,000. And the reason we have 1,000 as our base number here, or as our denominator, is because 10 times 10 is 1,000. So if we were going to write this section of our cube as a number, we would say that that would be 4 pieces out of 1,000. And just a quick reminder, our 1,000 is our denominator. And our 4 is our numerator, because I will be using those vocabulary words as we continue on. So you heard me say just a minute ago that we had 4 out of 1,000. Now, when we have a fraction like that, we know we don't have a whole. To have a whole number, we would have to have 1,000 over 1,000. So when we're looking at our place value chart here, we know that we can't have anything in this one whole place because I don't have a whole number. I have a fraction of a number. So that's a really important thing to think about. Now, where am I going to put that 4 in my chart? This is the harder part. So you want to look at the base number, which is 1,000. So the 4 is going to sit in the thousands place. So in my tenths and my hundredths, I don't have anything right now. So that would actually be 2 zeros. So I would read this number as 4 thousandths. So if we think back to our thousandths cube that we had, I want you to, instead of pulling out 4 pieces, let's pull out 444 pieces. Now, if I pulled out 444 pieces out of 1,000, what would that number look like? As a fraction, hopefully you're saying, well, that's 444 out of 1,000 because I pulled 444 out. So now I want us to transfer that number into a decimal. Now again, I don't have a whole number yet. If I was going to have a whole number, I would have 1,000 over 1,000. And I don't have that. So I know right away I need to put a 0 in my ones place. It's really important with decimals that we always put a 0 in our ones place if we don't have any whole numbers. So make sure that you remember to do that. So now we're going to look at our 444 out of 1,000. Okay, so I almost feel like I take my brain and I kind of flip the thinking on this one. So I always start in my thousands place instead of my tenths, because it's almost like you write the number backwards. So we say 444 thousandths. So our first number is going to be a 4. Our hundredths place also is a 4. And our tenths place is a 4. So let's do another one, but let's do this one together. Let's say I have the number 367 over 1,000. So if I was going to write that number as a decimal, I would say, okay, well, I know I don't have a whole number, so I was going to put a 0 at the front. And then the 3 is in my tenths place. My 6 is in my hundreds place. And my 7 is in my thousands place. You'll see me, I had to pause and I had to think about it for a second because it feels really confusing. But you actually just take that number and you write it backwards, basically. You say you have 367 thousandths, so you want to write that as 367, just like you would as a whole number, but instead we're writing it as thousandths. So my last number needs to sit in the thousandths place, which is that example that I showed you with the place value chart. Let's do one more. We've got 426 thousandths. How would that look as a decimal? Hopefully you said 0.426 thousandths. Just remember, guys, if you're not getting it, we definitely will practice this more in the classroom. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed your flipped video. And your joke for today is, why did the girl smear peanut butter on the road? See you soon.